In the 1840s and 50s, the majority of immigrants were German, which became the dominant population, and Bushwick established a considerable brewing industry, including Brewers Row, 14 breweries located in the 14-block area by 1890. Thus, Bushwick was dubbed the beer capital of the Northeast. At the Corning Museum of Glass, Charlene Foster discovered her love of links, both physical and psychological. This love has been translated into her work, which is a manifestation of the relationship between the two.
Glass. I used to do large-scale sculptures, and now I've sort of scaled them down to smaller pieces, including jewelry, glass chains. My first collection was a glass bondage series, which resembled the psychology of relationships, the metaphor, which people have their own interpretation of it, looking at it. They have their own connotations of what glass bondage is. My interpretation of my artwork is based on the psychology of relationships and how in any relationship it's sort of a self-imposed state of being. When you think of bondage, you normally think of something that's strong, like metal. You don't think of it as glass, and the fact that I made my pieces out of glass goes against the idea that bondage is strong, and actually the relationships that we have with one another are actually very fragile, and you have to really take care of them or they break. My larger scale sculptures were a little bit too large, and they weren't moving much. They're really expensive and very time consuming, and I sort of decided to scale them down and make jewelry.
Do you find that the inspiration it takes to sort of come up with your basic designs has changed that much between the large-scale pieces and the small pieces, or do you find that it's still coming from the same place?
Well, it's kind of coming from the same place, but minus the fact that I'm not making glass handcuffs. Some of my first pieces I did have ball and chain and whatnot, but now I'm focusing more on the design aspects of the chains, mixing them with silver and gold and glass. And it's not so much about the whole bondage thing anymore. I'm trying to change, always.
How long, I guess, have you been working with glass?
I started in 2000 in Boston. I took a glass bead making class. And after that, I couldn't stop dreaming about melted colors and liquid and melted glass, and I just totally became obsessed. And I took it to the next level, and I started taking glass blowing, and then just kind of continued from there.
What's the most appealing aspect of that particular medium of glass?
Well, I guess there's a part of my personality that really likes dangerous situations. I mean, I'm working with something very flammable, propane and oxygen.
I mean, like, really, it's a dangerous thing that you're sort of working with.
I think at first I was a little bit intimidated, especially with the tanks. I'm not afraid, and there's certain things that you can do to make sure that it's safe. You need proper ventilation, and you also need to know to bleed your lines, meaning don't leave any propane or oxygen in your line. So as long as you understand it, there's really, I'm not afraid at all. I've gone to quite a few glass schools, and there'd be like 2 to 3 week courses where you do nothing but get up in the morning, work on your torch in the glass studio. I really just soaked up all the knowledge and, read up on books, tried to connect with other glass artists, and sort of get the knowledge that they had. And if I'm constantly learning from other glass artists, even with teaching or working with other people.
If people want to check out some of your jewelry, how can they check out your work?
I sell my large-scale sculptures. From my first series is in Philadelphia at a place called Philadelphia Glassworks, and I also sell my jewelry at New York Adorned, which is on 2nd Avenue, and they just opened up a new store in Brooklyn on Bedford. I do a lot of custom-made pieces for people. I work more, and I enjoy that more. A lot of my pieces you can't really order. Most of my art is more personal. Each piece is extremely different. They're all one-of-a-kind pieces. So it's really difficult I need to come up with a collection that can actually be purchased on my website at charlenefoster.com.
Just living here in Bushwick and being here for the last 3 years, I've met some of the most amazing, fantastic artists in Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm in the city or wherever, I'm like, oh yeah. I live in Brooklyn. Where are you? Oh, you too? Bushwick. It's like it really is.
It's more. There are so many more people moving here, and a lot more artists, and a lot more stuff going on. When I first moved here, I never spent much time in Brooklyn, and now I don't even want to go to Manhattan. There's so much going on out here, you know. I love it.
To the people that are not only your fans, but to your future friends and your future clients, like, what do you say to those people to help you get out of bed in the morning?
To help you get out of your bed in the morning, put on some music, follow your passions. If you have an instinct, do it. When I discovered glass, I just really went for it, and everyone's like, are you crazy? How are you gonna make money? Whatever it is that you wanna do, just go for it. Like, there's always gonna be a way, as long as you follow what your passion is.